Okay. This is going to be a video on how this all started for me with the electrics on these gas bikes, guys. This started for me about 2 years ago. I bought a motor with a white wire magneto. And I was told that we could power from it. Which in turn you can, but not enough. So then I went on to eBay after I learned about the generators. That's when they all started hitting the market. Okay. Well, I was not paying what Wonderful World Creations wanted for their generators. Or their kits, for that matter, as you already know how I feel on that matter. So, I went from there and I went to this. I couldn't pull enough power from the white wire and the magneto. So, I bought this from China. And it was in my box. It's on my bike now. This has been in the bike ever since I bought it. Okay? Not the same pack of batteries, no. They've been changed about every 6 months. Yes, they are double A's. There's 8 of them. They're dead. Okay? These was brand new 6 months ago. But with all my testing, since all my parts have come in and the bike's now together, I used this pack to test lights with until it was totally dead. Okay? That's how I powered my brake lights and my turn signals for the past year. Okay? Now, yeah, don't worry about the knife. Nothing, it's in there by a helmet. Yeah, it's my helmet. My riding gloves. Probably wonder what the fuck is this mess about, right? Well, okay. This is where I got my wiring from. Okay, and if anybody's wondering how I wired my bike together, okay, this switch here that I'm holding in my hand, it is a headlight switch. See it? Horn switch. Turn signal switch. They come off an electric scooter, not a Walmart scooter. Okay, this thing had like an American flag style paint job. Yes, it was from China, but it was made for NASA. Okay, where that all come about, I don't know. My neighbor found the thing in the trash can. He was gonna junk it. He was gonna send it to the scrapyard. When I found out, I went to his house because I know he's a scrapper. Okay, I told him I wanted it. He said, "What the fuck do you want it for?" "I want the wiring off of it." He laughed at me. He said, "What are you going to do with that?" I said, "I'm going to cut the wiring off of it." He said, "Well, what are you going to do with that wiring?" I said, "I'm going to use to wire my bike." He laughed even harder. He did. He laughed. Laughed his guts out. I gave him $5 for it. I wheeled it to my house. And I got my 10 snips out and I commenced the cutting. This is the turn signal assembly switch all at the bars. Okay. Now, this wire here. Okay. You have a blue. You have a green. You have a gray. You have a red. And you have a black. Okay, that's black. That's red. That's yellow. And that's pink. Okay, I used the particular wiring from the switch. Okay, from this cut point all the way to the very back scooter. It was about 3 foot. About 3 foot of wire. Maybe longer. Okay. Well, I bought this when I was redoing my bike because I thought my turn signal assembly switch had went out. Okay. It's nothing spectacular. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing pricey. It is for a motorcycle. It is for 7/8 handlebars. It's just a plain Jane universal headlight turn signal assembly switch from China for like $2-3. Okay. But I bought this switch because I thought my turn signal switch in this housing went out. So I bought this, and I was going to take this switch and desolder it from this wiring that it comes with. Okay? And as you see, look at that. The same basic color code of wiring. Same basic color code of wiring. Besides this brown wire right here. That's the only difference in between these two wires. The one on this one and this one here. That's it. They're exactly 7 wires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So, I took the wiring harness from this, where it was cut. I stripped all these wires back. I soldered them into these wires here. Okay? Then heat shrunk them. One by one by one by one. Then I heat shrunk them together with 6mm heat shrink. From here to here. So now they're one. Okay? That runs from my handlebars all the way back to the box. And the very back to bike. Okay? Now, for the turn signals themselves. And this is another bit of wiring out of that same scooter that I was talking about earlier. Okay? Here's the turn signals out of the handlebars. And its plug and whatever else and whatnot. Okay? The reason I kept this is for demonstration purposes. Okay? See these 3 wires here? You can only imagine what they ran to. Hot. Ground. Hot. They ran into the back turn signals on the bike. On the little electric scooter. It's exactly what they ran to. Why? Because they run into the same plug that these lights come out of. That's how I got that. If anybody's wondering. Common sense, man. That's all. My own personal common sense. If you don't have none, I'm sorry for you. Maybe you can have somebody else help you along that may have some. So, this is the wire that I'm using, that I have used to go from my left turn signal, right turn signal, and a ground. Okay? These are both hots. Yellow and red are hot. And this black one here is the ground. Okay? Right? So, these two run to this switch Okay. They run to this switch here. Okay. And then the ground runs right back to the battery box. Electrical box, whatever you wish to call it. Okay. Running right from the lights. Okay. Now, let's see here. Please do not tell me I left that downstairs. Oh boy. I probably did. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, now for you guys out there having generator problems that bought them generators from gasbikes.net, I'm going to show you what I used to do my air gap. Okay, as you see, we have a pack of cigarette rolling papers. Okay, that's all they are. Cigarette rolling paper. Okay. Now, you have something like a business card in here. But as you see, it's quite thick. I tried to use it and couldn't. My air gap was too far out. So we had to ditch that. It's got to go. Now, there is another one in here, though, that I did use. Okay. And that was these. Okay. That was these. Really thin. They're not very thick. Maybe 1/4 of a millimeter if you're lucky. If you're lucky. You know. This is what I used to set my air gap. That's exactly what I used to set my air gap. Okay. So my air gap is no bigger than this in between the magnet and my generator. Okay. And I'm running the same gas bike generator I talked about in the last videos. Okay. That's how I got mine together. Okay. As far as my turn signals go, as far as my turn signal assembly switch goes, okay. Now, I will state this. This does also go to the rear of the bike. Okay. My rear turn signals get also plugged into these same wires. Okay. They also get plugged into the same wiring harness right here. This color wiring harness. Not the rest of it. Just this part. Just this part. That's all that's in the bike. I wanted a good, clean, nice look. And not only did I want that, I wanted them sheathed. I wanted them coated, covered. So they wouldn't get damaged by gas, oil, rain, nothing. Okay? Including heat. They will be heat resistant. Okay? And I did find more of these switches on eBay. And the rest of the parts from other electric scooters, just like the one I disassembled. Okay. So it can be done. It can be done. I've done it. Now, I'm going to show you what's running my brake lights on the rack, the tail light on the rack, and the headlight. Okay. Same wire from the scooter. Okay. It's sheathed. And this came from the brake handle. Okay. Because you gotta remember, this was an electric scooter. So when you pulled the brake, it shut the motor off. A little electric motor got shut off by this wire and a switch. There was probably 8 feet of this shit. Okay, maybe less. I don't really know by how much, but I know there was quite a bit of wiring that I used. Okay, this particular wire runs to the headlight, all the way at the very front of the bike, runs right down the frame, all the way to the taillight, at the very back of the rack. Okay, then I used the same wire, what excess I had, to run my brake switch, to light my brake lights up, including the brake light that's in the taillight on the rack. Now, mind you, that brake light and tail light also come out of that same scooter. Okay. I'm going to cut this video here and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I had to run back down the stairs and get another package. Okay. Just in case anybody's wondering of what the tail light and brake light on the rack consists of, here's your answer. Here is your answer. It is a simple strip of single 3528 LEDs. There's 3 of them. There's 1, 2, and there's a third right here. Okay, 1, 2. Damn camera. 3. Okay. Yes, it is a white PCB, not the black ones that you normally see posted everywhere. The reason being I bought the white instead of the black is because when it's lit, it makes this whole thing look like a light. It will actually produce more light than what you would expect and imagine. So now when my light is on, people see it. When I hit the brakes, people's like, whoa, hey, he's stopping, he's stopping. They see it. You can buy these all day long for about $4 on eBay. That sounds expensive, but there's 5 of them. As you see, there's 3 here. I done used 2. One's a brake light, one's a tail light. So you get 50% light when you're running your main lights. When you hit the brakes, you get 100% light. You can build something like this on your own for very cheap. You don't have to buy nothing pre-made. You can if you wish to. I'm the ingenuitive type. If I can buy it and make it, I would rather make it than buy it. Okay, this is something I can't make. I can't make an LED strip. So I normally have to buy them. But that's everything that's on my bike. Nothing is an incandescent bulb. Nothing. It is all LEDs. Like a brand new car. The headlight is LED. Tail light is LED. Turn signals are LED. Brake lights are LED. Okay. But yeah. That's what runs my headlight, my brake switch, my tail light, and my brake light on the back of the rack. And this is what runs the main turn signal assembly switch And as you can see, they're fairly close in color and match. The only difference is gray goes to white and brown goes to pink. That's it. That's it. It's really simple. There's not much to it. You know, if you're trying to do this and you're trying to do it on a budget, I can understand. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. But now, if you can find wire like this, just laying around in somebody's garage somewhere, or you know somebody that likes to scrap things, and you go over to their house, or whatever the case is, and you can find some wire like this, I suggest it be in your best interest to try to buy it from them. Even if you have to disassemble something to get it, I would suggest doing it. Because it's a lot better than trying to buy it off eBay. Because you can't buy just this wire. You can't buy just this wire. You have to buy this whole switch. Yeah, you sure can. You can buy this switch on eBay all given day long. Just like this one. You sure can. This switch here I'm holding in my hand, it's for an actual motorcycle. Okay, universal motorcycle switch. That's what it's considered. For 7/8 bars, not 1 inch. Just like this. 7/8 bars, not 1 inch. See? See? Yeah. For 7/8 bars. That's how I got mine. That's what I done with mine. Just in case anybody's wondering. And yes, I ride safe. Sure do. Helmet and gloves. No, I don't have body armor. I sure don't. Now, here's my next project. Okay. I may have talked about it a time or two in my last video or so, but I don't know if I did. Okay. I know these are the bearings I told you about. Okay. These are them. Okay. That's them. Because here's the stock bearing. No, that's not it either. Damn you. This is. And I repackaged this for a reason. See? That's the stock bearing. Now, some of you may wonder why your engine doesn't run quite right, or it's got a lot of vibrations and things of that nature. I'm going to tell you why. Right here. It's the bearings. I'm going to say 75% of the time, it's the bearings in the engine. That's why it doesn't perform like it needs to perform. These bearings here, or this bearing here in my hand, was never ran. This motor has never run. Okay, like I told you before, in one of the other videos. This bearing here is so rough. If you used to run it, it would rattle your teeth plumb out of your head. That's how rough this bearing is. And the longer you roll it, the rougher it gets. The more force you put into it, that gets that much rougher. Junk. Plumb junk. Now these bearings here that I put in this engine, you talk about wonderful. Butter smooth. Look at that. Butter smooth. No effort, no force, none. And look at that bearing move. Yes, that's the way it should be. You shouldn't have to put much force and effort into it to make it move. I have one last bearing to pull, and that might be some time from now when I get everything else situated from. And that's that bearing right there. The other bearings have been replaced. Them have been replaced. This one here threw a fit with me yesterday, so I'm just letting it be for now. I'm not done. More to come on that. I know a lot of you guys disagree that the gasbikes.net's gens don't work, but once again, I'm going to prove to you guys they do. I'm going to prove to you they'll even charge a battery. And when I get this battery, I'm going to charge it. I'm going to charge it. And I'm going to keep it in a place to where I can keep an eye on it. And the next nice day we get, I'm going to do my damnedest to get me a cameraman and show you that these lights work on the generator themselves. With no battery installed. Nothing. I can even fire the bike up with the lights on. And the bike starts and runs just fine. So you guys out there having a problem with these generators, you need to really inspect what you've done. Or whoever you had do it for you. If you had somebody else do it for you. Because, like I stated earlier, I tried to start out with a white wire magneto. The only thing I could run off that white wire, and everybody says that it puts out AC current. It may put out AC current, but you sure in the hell can run LEDs off of it without a rectifier, smoothing capacitor, or a regulator. Now tell me that's not a rough and tough one. Now, I know you're probably wondering how I did it. Well, I'll show you how I did it. Okay. This here is one of the light strips I originally bought. Okay. That is a 3528 LED, 15 LED strip. Not a 12 LED strip. That's 15 LEDs on a strip. And yes, that's at 12 volts. Yes, that's run from my computer. Right off the USB. The voltage regulators. Like the one I bought. Okay. I bought a XL 6009 boost converter. Not the boost buck converter. In the very beginning. I bought two of them. Okay. Because I didn't know what I was going to need, how much of it I was going to need, and I got tired of waiting on my stuff coming from China. So I bought one. No, as a matter of fact, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. I bought two from a guy here in the States. Cost me like $10, $5 of a converter. Yes, high. I agree. Very pricey. Yes, it was. Well, the white wire magneto thing failed. I plugged my dim lights like you just seen. I had two of them in place of where my 50/50 LED strips are now. I plugged them directly into the white wire magneto. Right from the brake switch itself. And they fired up and they ran just fine. Call it what you want, call it what you will. But they ran. They sure did. So, why, I don't know. How, I don't know, but I know that they ran. I know they sure did. All the specs, I can't really tell you how they ran and when they ran, and I can't tell you that because I really don't know. I'm not an electrician. I'm not a scientist. I'm not really, you know, educated as far as book smarts go. I'm just a street smarts type person. My father taught me some things, and I've ran with them. Okay. And if any youngsters are watching this video, maybe you guys can get you some old heads to help you out. Somebody take you under the wing and teach you a few things. You know, because that's what you might need. But you know, other than that, that's all I got to say, guys. Out.